Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Somebody needed help drawing a 3D looking metal flange with holes in it. And I wasn't going to make a video at first, and I thought, there are a few tools that we could use. So I'm going to start off with a rectangle, and I'm going to put my holes in first before I round off the corners. Matter of fact, to make this easier, I'm going to make this 10 inches. I'm going to lock my ratio first, 10 inches. I only have to type it once. And I'm going to make a duplicate, and I'm going to move it over 12 inches. Because now I can take this and round off the corners, and you're going to see in just a second why I'd want to do that separately. Because I'm going to use this square part with my holes. And I'm going to draw it. Doesn't really matter what size hole you do for the video. But see, I can put it right on that node. If I did it over here, I'd have a little bit of trouble getting it on the exact corner. I'm going to set my nudge factor on like 0.75. And I'm going to nudge it over one time and down. Now I could, probably the easiest thing, since it's just two keystrokes, make a copy and go, you could rotate this whole thing around. And then actually you could control D to duplicate that and put that there and then nudge it. You've killed two birds with one stone. Now, but I want this rounded part as my, I can't remember how big I made the nudge. Must have been 12 inches. Yep. So I'm actually going to fill this in now with the Smart Fill tool. Doesn't really matter what color it is right now. I'm going to fill it in with that gray, because that's the color we want for our flange anyway. And now I am going to, there's several ways you could do this. I'm going to use the extrude tool, and I'm just going to extrude it downwardly. So I have the extrude on the bottom, but I want to be able to rotate it. So I'm going to rotate it kind of like, and this is personal preference. And then see, now we're way too thick, but if we grab this, we can put our flange back. Now it's, whenever I do this, sometimes it just doesn't look good, but you can always go to object and go to perspective, and you can add a little bit of perspective to it. To me, it makes it look more realistic, but that's beside the point. Now, hopefully our holes are still there. So I'm going to grab it all, go up to object and break the extrude groove apart. And you can see our top is totally different. So I'm going to go left click, right click. I do not want these little parts. So I'm going to go and I'm going to ungroup all, and I'm going to get those little parts of the hole and just delete them, because I don't want them. Now I can actually, I can color this in now, Smart Fill tool, and see it's going to be all one piece because of the angle we're at. At this time, you could take, with that selected, take your interactive fill tool, and let's give it a little bit of darkness, to the bottom. We're going to change it to the bottom. And at this time, you'd want to make, maybe have this level. And then that way it could be a little bit different going around that corner. That looks not too bad. We're not going to do anything at the top, but look what happens when I put it back. It already looks pretty real. I don't like what I did compared to this one. I do like the rounded corners. But then all you have to do is, I think we're going to have to put some separation there. So I'm going to make a black line. And then take your Smart Fill tool, set on something lighter than you used before, and put it in the hole. Now, when I said light, because we're going to change this in just a second, we're going to go right to this one where I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to go to the interactive fill tool, and then I'm going to put a little darkness down in the hole, and even a little bit more to kind of make it look like a hole. Now the advantage is now I can take my attribute eyedropper and take a sample of that and drop it in each hole, and because they're kind of at the same angle, you kind of get that flick. I do not like my shape, but you get the idea. I'm going to group that together. I'm going to see if I can use the perspective now to kind of, I like that shape better, but I'm messing up my shadow. So let's back up here. Let's just take those shadows out of there. I got it grouped together. Let's do this perspective first, which is what I should have done. So group all this together, Control G. Go up to Object, Add Perspective. And see, I think that already looks better. It looks more realistic. And so now take your Smart Fill tool, and you don't want a darker color than you have. You want to be able to see a little bit of shading, or that's all my opinion. Interactive Fill tool, go downwardly. And if you kind of go down the same angle, you know what, we're going to make it quite a bit darker. So you can kind of, see a little bit better. Yeah, that looks good. And see, because of the lightness, now get the attribute eyedropper and put it in the hole. And I missed that one. Because we're at the same angle, we're getting the same shadow. Now I like it better than my other one. And really, Flange probably would never be that thick. And I told him when I sent this back to him, if your flange is a little thinner, it would actually, some of these, especially this hole, you'd be able to see through it. So you'd have a curve shape that would be transparent. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.